All right, guys, it's the club. We've been dabbling in different underdog contests on here, doing some weekly winners. We were maybe going to do a little NBA, maybe a little eliminator. And then I looked at the calendar and I said, guys, I need to do more BBM4 drafts on stream. I'm marching toward my 150. I will be wrapping it up by Friday. But I said, guys, can we do a BBM4 draft here on the club? They said, of course we can, Pete. So that's what we're doing today. We're chasing 3 million. Clay, Andy, and myself. It's the club. Let's go. All right, what's up? We got Andy, we got Clay. I still been thinking about weekly winners a lot. Keep entering more and more slow drafts. Might be a teeny bit of overlay there, but I appreciate you guys indulging me on my quest to max BBM on stream.
Yeah, no, totally. And I think since we last streamed, the Eliminator has come out as well. I was curious to ask you guys about that and what your thoughts are on, comparing that and weekly winners. I think they both have very different strategies involved in them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, do both kind of hit that more of a weekly sweat kind of draft. So I'm curious what your guys' thoughts were.
Yeah, it's funny that how like weekly winners is all about hitting like the most insane upper 0.01 percentile outcome. And then eliminator is more about protecting like risk and raising your floor and making sure you can survive that. So from like a mental standpoint, it's like a completely different animal. I'm in just one of the slow drafts for the first big eliminator. And I do know the structure for the smaller eliminator is a little different where you do, because of the final, still have to think a little bit about stacking. But I've been enjoying even just my one draft. I'm like, oh, Juju Smith-Schuster, I finally have a format where I feel good about.
Yeah, it's like I love Adam Thielen now. Like all these guys who I would never click otherwise. It's like I feel okay with them.
That's a place to draft Kelsey right there.
Yeah, that's true. All right, we're off to the races here in this draft. So Clay at the 1-4 takes Tyreek Hill. I'm right behind Clay. Snipe City coming today, Cooper Kupp, and then Andy is at the 10 spot. Kelsey does fall to 8. Andy, did I hear you say you only have like 15 more BBMs too?
Oh, I only have, I think this is 144 for me.
Okay.
So
all right.
I might finish them today. We'll see. We'll see how the night goes. But Allie's going out to dinner with a friend, so I'm going to be home alone.
Oh, that like trouble.
There you go. Home alone with a little money in my underdog account. Someone's getting up to trouble. All right. Big news today, obviously, is Jonathan Taylor. He's going to open the season on PUP. The Colts don't end up trading him. This morning, people in my chat were like 50%, 60, 70% chance he goes to the Dolphins. That did not happen. Where do you think he goes now? With all we really know is that he's unhappy and he's going to miss the first 4 games of the season, and he's going to be on the Colts at least until the trade deadline, most likely. So how are you guys handling Jonathan Taylor now?
Yeah, I guess like I'm a little confused on the details between like, is he locked on the roster until what point till the season starts? And then it's like they're saying trade deadline is likely because that's usually when deals happen, is closer to the deadline as opposed to earlier. Or is it like truly like it's only we got to wait until that far down the line? Because I don't know. I don't necessarily at this moment in time see him suiting up for the Colts. Like it doesn't seem like he wants to play for them. There's going to be at least 4 weeks where he's not playing for them. So to me, it's like, I don't know. I think it's a pretty risky pick unless we get details or information of when a trade can happen and where that trade might be to. That's what I'm sure.
Yeah, I have no idea as far as like where he could end up or all of that. I kind of just think he's going to play at some point. Like after a certain point, just going to be turning down a lot of money probably. But at the same time, like Pete and I were saying before we went live, I already have like 10% Jonathan Taylor, so I don't feel like this is the right time for me to be like risky clicking in my last 6 to try to get him. If he drops low enough, I'll definitely take him. But yeah, like I'd probably be taking him around where like Breece Hall goes, or after like Najee or something.
That's where I think his ADP will probably settle. I'm trying to think, like, how is the market? Is the market more scared about like Dalvin and Breece coming back from injury, or are they more scared about this JT situation? The market might actually be more scared about JT. Like maybe he is a 4 or 5 turn pick like over the next week.
Yeah, I could see that. I think with Brees, you like at least know you're going to get production from him at some point this season. Maybe it's not worth the pick, but I think there's like a lot of fear right now that maybe he doesn't play at all, Taylor. And so
Right.
like it's a very different type of like risk reward like structure there. I don't know. It's a tough one.
Yeah. The other
I've been
thing
taking him more as he fell a lot, but I'm with Andy. It's like I'm not super tempted to take him presently. I wasn't bullish on him to begin to, I don't know. I feel comfortable with the marginal
Yeah,
amount with Taylor right
I've
now.
had a bit of bad luck already with guys where it's like I had a lot of JSN, I had a lot of Jerry Judy, and so like a couple guys who aren't going to necessarily Terry McLaurin's another one where it's like I don't want to push my luck too much with guys who are maybe going to miss a couple weeks and are currently sliding, and so if I can avoid it in these last few, I probably will.
Yeah, the other thing too, the ADP on Underdog is super sticky, and someone made a point to me the other day that the auto drafters will often, damn it, Clay, will
Sorry.
often kind of ruin the what do I want to do here actually as I try to make this thought about
Snipe
changing
City.
ADP? Yeah, because that like Anders is now just like the click there. I'll take third round Jacobs now. Like his ADP
I've been
should
taking
be
Jacobs a lot.
snapback.
I
Yeah.
have like
I've been taking
zero
him.
Andrews.
I've had a
Let me see how much I
couple.
have.
I've had 2 drafts today out of the one spot, and I took him in both of those actually at the turn there when there was like nothing else that was super exciting to me.
What I was gonna
I
say
had Hale
about
too.
the JT stuff is like because there's auto drafters, the reason like Judy and McLaurin's ADP is just like slowly ticked down is because in like, I mean, what would we guess? Like 1 out of every 4 or 5 drafts, there's like an auto drafter who's just falling on the landmine. And then that delays the
Mhm.
ADP getting efficient really quickly. And so I do wonder if, even though we say like, okay, JT should probably be like a late 4th round pick, I
Mhm.
wonder if it just takes forever for him to
Mhm.
get there. And by forever, I mean before we, or it's not going to happen before the contest locks because we don't have time for that to develop now.
Yeah, I could totally see that. I mean, like it definitely. I don't think it'll really be a big difference for me in my last 5 drafts. I mean, if I don't finish my drafts today, I'm going to finish them tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so I doubt that it'll be super meaningful for me.
What
It's
do
not often
you,
I feel like at this point where I get to start with Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I'm curious to
That's
see how this
fun.
builds out.
who are the guys for you to, as you wrap up your drafts that you're like, I just want to get these guys. Like I haven't been clicking them enough. I'm getting portfolio FOMO and I just want to go out of my way to get them. And
Yeah, I
you don't
definitely
have
have a
to say it
couple.
if they're still on the board, but you
Oh
might.
no, it's fine. I don't care. You guys can snipe me. I have a couple. Like one, I've been taking a good chunk of Mike Williams. I was pretty under the field on him comparatively. I'm not even like comparatively. I just was under the field on him. I was at like 3 or 4% and like 2% Justin Herbert
Mm-hmm.
going into like my last like 20 or so drafts. I'm still only at like 3% Herbert, and I've been
Yeah.
taking him a good amount. But I was also at like 18% Keenan Allen, and I was like, all right, I should balance this out a little bit. Like I'm not so incredibly confident that it's like definitely Allen and not Mike Williams, and so that's one that I've been taking. Oh, this is kind of a gross pick here. You know what? I'll do what I said I've been doing. I'll take Mike Williams. There we go. So he's one. I'm a pretty balanced drafter overall. Like I don't have too many crazy high exposures. I definitely have lower exposures. Um, but a little bit of like Damian Pierce, I've been taking a good amount in these last couple, especially as his role really seems solidified. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Pierce is a
trying to
good
draft like
one.
Wandell Robinson and a lot of like late guys. Like I'm still taking like Michael Wilson in the last round, guys like that. Where I just like, I feel like the biggest shift for me has more been feeling more confident in late round wide receivers now, and feeling like I really need to push for the running backs that I want in those like mid to late rounds.
So I'm
Yep.
stoked because my answer to that question is the guy I'm
Damn.
going to click now. I have been terrified about my Justin Fields exposure. 3.8% just does not feel good. So it's nice to be able to get him here right at ADP when that is one of my goals right now.
Yeah, I love that. I'm a little bit under the field on him, mostly just because I'm under the field on every early quarterback except for Jalen Hurts. He's the only, I think, let me just look at quarterback in general, but I believe he's the only quarterback up until Tua that I'm over the field on.
Wow.
And so I've generally been zigging a little bit on the earlier QB stuff.
So we are on, let's see, Jonathan Taylor watch here. This room is paying attention. No auto drafters in this one because he would have already gone by now if we had an auto drafter. Najee, that's where you know where we're at on Jonathan Taylor. Najee Harris going ahead of him. That's probably my tipping point. I don't think I'm still taking Najee.
I'm with you. I'm with you on principle.
Yeah, I think we're at the point now where it's a little. I would be drafting him.
I'll tell you right now, if Clay does not take him, I will select Jonathan Taylor at 53. You can mark my word on that.
Yeah, you might be getting him unless he goes, because I don't think I'm with my structure. I'm planning to take him. I went with. I just went ahead and secured Walker over him. For me, like my guys are like, I mean, I have minimal Andrews, so I felt pretty good to get Andrews at 28 on this team with Tyreek. I know it's like, not an uncommon correlation there, but I have a lot of Lamar and very little Andrews just because I've had a hard time taking tight ends in that range.
You guys want to see where he falls to? I mean,
I'm not opposed.
Okay, he does go there. So the experiment's over.
There he goes.
That honestly feels right. Like that 4-5 turn feels right to me.
I think so as well.
Yeah. I think so.
Quarterbacks on the board. You might get Herbert, Andy, because Fields drafter, Allen drafter, Mahomes. I guess you just got to dodge a Lamb and a Debo Hopkins team, but you also have Burrow cover too in there. So if someone's going unstacked, they're probably going Burrow.
Yeah. I've been getting him. So I think that was the reason I was super, super low on Herbert was just I felt like everyone was reaching for him every single draft. And I just like kind of refused to reach to get him. But lately it's been a little bit easier in the late 50s to get him as my quarterback, I feel like. But we'll see. Is there anyone else? I feel like a lot of the guys I've been taking a lot of, I have just continued to take a lot of. Like I'm still drafting JSN when I can get him in the late 70s, early 80s. Who else? I've started drafting more Cortland Sutton. He was someone I was staying away from for a while. And like I said, I was drafting a lot of Judy. And so he's someone who I have really been trying to grab kind of in that period of time where like I feel more confident on what the whole running back situation is right now, and there isn't a ton of value sometimes super late in these drafts. So I have been going a little bit running back heavier in the first 8 or so rounds, and so then taking Sutton there feels nice. Oh, there goes Herbert.
Sorry, I mushed you on it. I thought for sure if you go unstacked there, you go Burrow.
Yeah,
I guess there's more attractive late. Like you can at least get QJ. As far as
Pete, is this 137 or 136?
137. Yeah, did 136 on Splash Play. Did I give you the wrong number for the tweet?
Okay.
My bad.
Sorry, we gave him a tease.
I had to like game it all out because I have it set up for my mega stream to start with 144 on Friday. And I'm like, okay, this is 137, 38, 39, Best Ball Breakfast, 140 Swolecast. Like I was trying to get it all perfectly timed out.
So good.
So I go Cooper Kupp, Chris Olave, Josh Jacobs, Justin Fields, Christian Kirk. Clay goes with Dameon Pierce there, catching some of that steam here in the 5th. And then Andy is on the clock and goes Lockett there.
I think he might end up landing as my most drafted wide receiver when it's all said and done.
Will you take an unstacked Burrow in the 6th? Because you're going to be looking at that.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun.
It's fine. I can make that work.
Yeah.
I was torn to go Kirk there with that pick, Peter, but like I'm similar with Andy, and like I have a couple guys that I've been just very comfy clicking all summer long, and I'm not necessarily shying away from them now as their prices rise. I just want to get them on all the different kind of build combinations and not necessarily stick to being like, well, I have X amount of exposure in that regard. So Pierce is definitely my highest exposed running back, and Calvin Ridley, I'm still, fine drafting him up the boards. I've kind of even gotten more comfortable taking him ahead of some of the like wide receiver 2 studs that we like. Really just, if I'm betting on if he spikes, he spikes. If it's that kind of comeback year, it's that kind of comeback year. So those are two guys I continue to just like really hammer.
Yeah, man, all the guys I wanted to click
Oh no, don't
go
do
off
it to
the
me.
board
Don't do
there.
it to
I'm
me.
not taking Lawrence. You're fine. Dobbins and Kittle were who I wanted there. Man, that's a bummer. Let's see here. Goodness. Got her off the board. I don't want these running backs. I guess I'm just going to take Gabe Davis here. But yeah, that was man, I've been clicking so much Dobbins lately because I've been trying to boost my exposure and I'm just missing out on him there. So I will be a Gabe Davis slappy for this one.
I like Dobbins is another guy who he's one where I feel really dumb. Like I should have just been drafting so much more of him when he was in like the high 80s, 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like super underexposed to him, but for some reason I let myself get scared and don't have like 20% Dobbins or something.
On Dobbins?
Yeah.
I think I have 0 Dobbins.
Wow. Are you leveraging that like with Gus or are you just full fading?
Yeah, I take a lot of Gus late. I mean I have like Lamar, likely, and Gus I have tons of. And then a lot of Zay and OBJ and Bateman spread out across teams. Like I generally have like one of those guys on every single roster, it feels like.
Yeah.
Dobbins, I'll be honest, like if he comes out and looks spry and amazing, like I'm happy for him. But the contract, all the murkiness around it, and the fact that they typically will like throw in their 2 and 3 running backs, some too. Like I don't know.
They just released Melvin Gordon today, right?
Yeah,
that's good. That's good for. Yeah, that's good for Gus, I would say.
I think it's mostly good for Gus. Yeah, it doesn't really change anything for Dobbins. He's going to get the, if he's healthy and playing, he's going to get the starter carries regardless.
Yeah.
Lord, give me strength not to click on JSN. Lord, give me strength. Lord, give me strength. The Lord did not give me enough strength.
Another guy who I've been taking a lot of recently as he's slid is, I think DeAndre Swift at his ADP is a little bit ridiculous.
I hate how you said that because I was debating there between reaching for Swift or grabbing JSN. Those were my 2 options that I was considering.
Yeah, like I think looking at like the running backs on the board right now, I like him more than the 4 in front of him. Or Miles Sanders, but the 3 in front of him, especially Connor, Kamara, and White. I think that offense can definitely support multiple running backs in it. I'm not too worried, especially because there's just so little competition. Like it's such a narrow offense in focus. Like you only have 2 wide receivers and a tight end. It's not like they have a ton of receiving threats. Swift will catch some passes. I don't know.
Yeah.
Does Underdog make a new noise where if a guy in your queue goes, it like makes a little like deloop noise or something like that?
Oh, I haven't heard that. Are you're getting?
I havenens like other sites. I don't know. I just got like a random like noise in my headphones. It sounded like a pick was made on my queue.
Yeah.
What's your take on Michael Pittman, Peter? Because like I'm having some trouble like deciphering him. I have not been drafting him all off season, but I don't know how much to read into these. Like the sentiment that the way their offenses are designed is that basically like Richardson will look to the number 1 option being Pittman in that role, and if it's not there, pull it and run. So it sounds like. Which kind of adds up with a lot of like how people are like profiling Robinson as a quarterback. That's like he might not make it to like a Pierce read or a Downs read or something unless it's a specific play. And a lot of it's going to be like whatever that offensive coordinator was before. There was a offense that they ran similarly, where it was like basically like look for this one receiver. If it's not there, scoot with it.
Yeah, I will say this, like I was pretty light on Pittman when he was going in the 5th round. What am I at right now? 6%. I don't mind him at these prices, honestly.
Yeah.
Like once you're in this range, here, I guess like push comes to shove now with the Judy injury. Do I prefer Sutton to Pittman? But I think he belongs in this tier. He feels like a 7th round pick here. So I think the market was a little frothy before, but I don't know. This seems right here. I think I'd definitely be a buyer in the right spots.
Yeah, I've been clicking him a little bit recently.
Yeah, I definitely feel. I agree with Pete. I feel I'm under the field on him just because I wasn't drafting him when he was up higher. But I'm fine to pick him, and I also Anthony Richardson is someone else who I've been trying to draft more of an underdog. He's just with the way that I ended up drafting this year, I was so heavily on Underdog and then did basically 150 straight drafts on DraftKings and then came back to finish on Underdog. I like kind of missed the period of time on Underdog in particular where I was really bullish on, like when I started to get really into Richardson. And so on DraftKings, I think I have like 25% Anthony Richardson. On Underdog, I only have like 5 or 6%.
What's going on with Dallas Goedert? I mean, I
Hell of a
couldn't
slide.
have
Oh, they
clicked
signed
that.
Albert O, so watch out. Like, that's a big slide today. Like,
I couldn't have clicked that fast enough. Dallas Goedert at 92.
I saw that.
I almost took him at whatever I drafted at, like 80.
Yeah, 87.
Dude, I was
87.
taking him so high, like in the first few drafts, like that month, because he was going pretty high, and I was like, oh, good offense, good tight end role, and then like it's wild the prices that you can get him this close to the season, in my opinion.
He feels really
I think he's just,
volatile.
like, a whack
in
and
drafts.
use.
Sometimes he goes high when I feel like if the Hurts player doesn't,
Wants
the
him.
Hurts guy doesn't draft him, then like he can really slide just because he's not as sexy as some of the other tight ends, I guess. But I've been taking him a good amount when he slides too.
Yeah. Let's see here. Clay, what are you going to do, Clay? I'm debating if
I'm going to save you. I'm going to take a guy you don't like.
You are? Who are you going to take? No, you're going to take Evan Ingram for your double stack, right?
No, I'm going to try to push that.
Wow.
I think I'm going to try
Trevor Lawrence and not hitting the double stack with Ingram. I guess you got Andrews. You're trying to address
got Andrews.
Other stuff.
I feel like I want to keep loading up at wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
who are you taking that? Oh, Odell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Get another bring back on that Week 17 game.
If you're gonna take Odell and make me draft Rashad Bateman, I will. I was looking at Ingram there just because I did
same Rashad Bateman or just about the exact same Bateman exposure.
Yeah, I mean he's mispriced. I don't know why his ADP hasn't come up since everything's been like full systems go with him.
Because he's behind Odell. No. No, I will. I was gonna say too, like I do have a good Ingram clip that I have in the chamber to post.
You have an Ingram clip? Wow.
Yeah, not like a polished one, just like I found like a good profile on him from the Jags, like documentary shit. And it was like, oh yeah, probably should have been drafted some more Evan Ingram. It's pretty bullish.
Nice. All right, let's recap these teams for the audio listeners through 9 rounds here. I got an anchor RB build going with Josh Jacobs. So I have Cooper Kupp, Chris Olave, Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis, JSN, and Bateman at wide receiver, Goddard at tight end, Fields at quarterback, and then Jacobs at running back. What's your team here, Clay?
Yeah, I'm going with a little double dead zone RB strategy here. We got T-Law up top as quarterback. We got Kenneth Walker, Damian Pierce at running back, Tyreek, Calvin Ridley, Jordan Addison, Elijah Moore, and OBJ rounding out the wide receiver room so far, and then Mark Andrews as anchor tight end.
All right, Andy, give us yours as you make your 10th round click here in a second.
Yeah, so I started with Diggs and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and then followed that up with Gibbs and Mike Williams, and then Tyler Lockett, and then got a very late pick 63 Burrow, and then Swift and Pacheco, and now just got a bit of a stack with Tyler Boyd. And now I don't really know what I'm going to do. I could take Geno, but I don't feel like I need another QB yet. My wide receivers feel a little bit light, but I also do like Njoku.
Primetime KG. I'm stunned. I'm in a draft with all 3 of you guys and didn't realize it till round 9. Welcome to the stream. Primetime. What username are you? I don't know if I see a Primetime username. You have to reveal yourself to us.
I'm gonna say Angel Heart. No.
I'm torn on this one. If both Daniel Jones and Geno Smith are here, Daniel Jones, who I slightly prefer, and I could do something with, like Cooper Kupp, bring back week 17, but I'm pretty much going to be done drafting wide receivers. So adding like these late Giants receivers doesn't make a ton of sense. Or I could just stack up Geno Smith with JSN, but I've done that a million times. I also could just push quarterback a little bit more here and take a running back. I think with how much running back could get wiped out here, I think I should probably take a running back. I'm going to push quarterback and see what comes back. I'm going to do Rashad Penny, who, by the way, despite horrible reporting saying he could get cut, it was in fact Trey Sermon, the guy who's done nothing in the league, who got cut, and not the guy who has dropped multiple 30 burgers over the course of multiple seasons.
God bless the people who got worried about that.
Yeah,
I saw how much you have. I also have a lot of Rashad Penny.
I know.
So we'll see. I think I would have done the same thing there, pushing quarterback, especially with how it like just quarterback looked even. I try to pay attention to that during a draft like this, where it was like all of a sudden we got a very large backlog of quarterbacks and then a couple went, but it doesn't seem like this draft room is super like excited to reach for a QB they want. So I think
We don't have Fields too. You have Fields, right?
Yeah, I have Fields, which is why I kind of was like, yeah. I was, I'm not going to lie. I was kind of, I thought like a Richardson team too would be fun. Like a guy that you don't really need to stack as much, since I've already burned so many of my wide receiver slots. But it's like when I can do a Stafford, I can do a Derek Carr, you know, stuff like that. I'm like, or now I can just get a big value on one of these QBs. If they fall back to me, then I can be like, all right, I'll take Geno at 125 or whatever.
Well, Aaron Rodgers going before Daniel Jones and Geno Smith.
Yeah.
They don't even have a Jets player on their team.
All right. So Clay does Daniel Jones.
Yeah, they don't.
Do the stack, JSN stack. Keep it clean for you.
Yeah. I think I need to at this point. I still could have pushed it. If I had a running back that I really loved here, or a tight end, I think I would have just pulled the trigger. But unlike the last time when I was staring at Rashad Penny, this time it felt a little bit more flat. So we had Geno Smith here around past ADP to stack with.
Well, I saved you from the bye week pros too, because you would have had Fields and
thank you. Yes.
And Jones on week 13 bye. So you're welcome.
I think the reason I struggle with the Geno click there is just because I have so many teams where I've built it out through that Pittsburgh game stack and being like, how does this work for me in week 17? But maybe in this one, it's Fields that takes care of it for me in week 17, and Geno takes care of it in week 16. Because the Jalen Warren, he's now really hard to get as part of those builds, where he used to be like the backstop. You know,
yeah, it was
Seattle,
nice.
Pittsburgh. You're like, oh, just grab him at 135, 140, and now it's like, oh no, you have to go out of your way to get him.
Yeah. So I just took Goff since I have Gibbs and Amon-Ra, so that feels solid.
I think this is actually my first Trevor Lawrence exposure in BBM specifically, so that's kind of nice too.
Really?
Yeah, I've been taking. I guess I've taken him in puppies.
I thought you loved Ridley.
I do, but I wasn't always stacking him. I was like,
gotcha,
going and a lot of Lamar teams with Ridley. I mean, I would take Ridley.
But it's just bullish on Ridley no matter what. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I am. That was one of the kind of like, you know, flags I was willing to plant earlier this summer.
I feel like one of the things that's been interesting in this part of the draft over the last couple of weeks has been how like tight end has shifted around. Where like I don't totally understand why Irv Smith is now at a 175 ADP comparatively to other people, or like I guess it's mostly just like a bunch of like some guys have really rocketed up the board and others like Chig and Irv Smith have really fallen, and I don't totally understand the rationale for why some of like why they're falling comparatively. And I guess it's just like you have to pick, you're only going to pick one or two tight ends in this range, and it's like if I'm clicking Musgrave, I'm not going to click Irv. But
are people just bored with the Bengals? I mean, we watched Burrow just fall here. Like the Chase and Higgins drafter passed over him like twice in the 4th and the 5th, which is essentially 4 passes, right? Higgins drafter twice, Chase drafter twice. You mentioned the Irv slide. He was what, like 150 for most of the summer?
Yeah.
And now is fall. Like, I think people might just be bored of drafting the Bengals. And when you think of like, you know, there's certain stacks that you can kind of get different textures with, but it was like Chase at the beginning of the 1st round, Higgins at the end of the 2nd round, and then you grab Burrow in the 4th. That it's just like everyone had like that same start. I do wonder if there's just collective boredom there.
I could see that. I mean, I've seen Higgins go to like pick 35 a few times, which just feels totally crazy. But
Yeah.
I feel like Higgins especially. Chase people are generally going to take at 2. I've seen him go as low as like 4 recently, but Higgins feels to be like one of the larger pieces of collateral damage there.
You think some of the the element is the uncertainty a little bit around Burrow and his calf? Like we still haven't gotten like a lot of news since they gave that update a long time ago. I mean, granted, they said it was going to be like he would hopefully play week 1 of the season. You had that Chase quote where he's like, "I hope he sits out until like the bye week." Do you think that's kind of starting to have an impact? It's just a little strange that it hasn't really been in the news cycle that I've seen. So it's like, I don't know if that's top of mind for everyone, but there does seem to be a collective like, all right, we're not as bullish on the Bengals besides Chase and Higgins as we were.
Yeah. That could be. I forgot about like the lingering stuff with that giving people pause. So Jonathan Taylor doesn't get traded and A-Chain falls 10 picks past ADP? Are we, unless Angel Heart takes a 6th running back here?
Participated in practice today, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you don't take him, I am. So go for it.
No, I am.
You can snipe me this time. All right. I'll live with it.
Yeah. I mean, I think all of these Dolphins running backs should be coming up here. Did someone take Mostert? Oh, is that what happened?
He got taken.
Okay,
already.
Mostert going ahead of A-Chain for the first. And now is that a news-based thing? Like, is that now saying because like people liked A-Chain more with the specter of a free agent running back, but now that there isn't, they like Mostert more? I'm trying to figure that one out.
What I saw very briefly on Twitter, like I think I even saw like Hayden tweet something about this, but I think the sentiment that I've seen is like the expectation is that the kind of more like workhorsey style situation is going to end up going to Mostert and Wilson, and A-Chain's role isn't going to change quite as much, which I'm not sure I agree with or honestly am informed enough to know. But that was kind of the idea that I was getting. And so it was like A-Chain was probably going to do what he was going to do regardless. And like now Wilson and Mostert have more room to just like be the running back on 1st and 2nd down.
I was a little bummed that Roshan would have liked to pair him with Fields. So I think what I am going to do just to make sure I get that stack with Fields, I am going to go ahead and grab Cole Kmet here at ADP. So I at least get one nice stack there with Justin Fields.
Not 18th round Bob Tunyon, where it wasn't feeling.
I'm sorry, Clay. You a lot of your Galaxy Brain ideas you've sold me on over the years. I don't know if I'm coming aboard the Bob Tunyon train.
That's a little bit of a reach. It's not been. Did he get injured or something again? I don't know. He was talented.
You're the one that has Google alerts on for Bob Tunyon, not me, Clay.
I couldn't tell you much about what's going on in his career right now.
That's fair.
I'm being totally honest with you.
Tell you who looks good though. Noah fucking Gray looks like a stud out there in these cliffs.
Wow. Dabk out here balance shaming me here. $46.50.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's tough, man. Maybe I appreciate you becoming a YouTube member here. I'm going to be out panhandling. I got like 14 drafts after this, 12 drafts after this one, 13 if I can do any math. So yeah, I'm going to have to go in the couch cushions, find a way to max this.
All right, so I'm torn here with this draft pick because Tyler Algier 20 picks higher ADP than Jeff Wilson. And I already have 2 week 10 bye week people, but I really want to click Jeff Wilson.
Jeff Wilson is fun. I mean, again, like it goes back to the ADP stickiness, right? Like the whole point these guys have been priced here all offseason because Dalvin Cook, JT, yada, yada. I mean, these guys should all be going higher. And I guess like the Mostert ADP jump, like that feels justified there. I guess I just was confused about it coupled with the A-Chain slide.
Yeah, no, it definitely has been weird. And Wilson's also the one who I'm actually like least exposed to comparatively. I think Mostert is my most owned running back, and it's mostly drafted in like the 170s. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. But for a while, he and Wilson were pretty close to each other, and Mostert was like the guy I was clicking. And so it feels good to get Wilson.
Tyler, I appreciate it. He's going to bend over real quick while I dig around for change. Thank you, Tyler. I'm done digging. I didn't find anything. All right. Andy goes Eli Mitchell and then does take Jeff Wilson. What did you say the bye week bros are going to be after you for that one?
I've got 2 week 9 bye running backs and 3 week 10
Okay.
bye weeks, but
Gotcha.
I'm drafting a starting team no matter what, so
Yeah.
they'll be fine. All right. Now, what do I want to do here? I think I'll secure this stack. Yeah. It's a bit of a reach on ADP here for Irv, but considering I only have Tyler Boyd as my other Bengal, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, you got him at late June prices. That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, I like the way you played that. I mean, like that's how you do, falling Burrow, right? Like you reach a little bit to get Boyd, so you lock that up, and then just reach a teeny bit to get Irv. Irv's probably not coming back to 178.
Yeah, it would have been a close call. If I was picking
Yeah.
at like 170 or 172, I probably would have waited and tried to get him, but
I'm also like on that type of build. I am probably taking a flyer on whichever of the late Bengals running backs is your flavor there. I've been doing some Chris Evans, trying to get a few shares of him, but he's like, because all of those guys can catch some passes, I think they pair well with Burrow.
yeah, odds are Chris Evans will be my 18th round pick if I can get him.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. Will Angel Heart allow me to click Tajay Spears for the millionth time? We also get Tennessee playing my Geno stack in week 16. Sorry, Clay. I mean, I'm running back needy, and I love Spears.
I like Spears a lot as well.
It's a good pick. That's why he's in my queue. All right, I gotta figure out what the fuck I'm gonna do though.
Look at all these quarterbacks on the board. Now I'm kind of wondering. It's just like,
what do we think of Team 8? That's him.
Team 8. Let's see
KG
here.
makes you quit.
Kelsey Mahomes. I did not to brag, but I'm bragging. I got a Kelsey Mahomes team, but I got 3rd round Mahomes with it this morning. I like Keenan, Drake London, Dotson, Dobbins, Connor, White, Sharps. That's a nice way to do the 0 RB room. And then you backdoor stack with Rice, Mims, Mingo, Jawan Johnson, Kendre Miller. I like that stuff. I mean, I like a lot of these individual picks. I feel like Mims and Mingo and Rashi Rice are honestly like the poster boys of the wide receivers you take if you're behind on wide receiver through the first 10 rounds.
Yeah, and I do like Jawan Johnson a lot. Getting him as your second tight end feels solid.
Yeah.
How viable do you think Zamir White still is these days after the Jacob signing?
I haven't been clicking him, but I get why you would. I don't know.
I want to reach a little bit for correlation, so that's all right.
Fine, Clay.
I'm stacking those Gus Butts
I
bags.
will. I've been trying to boost my Zamir White. I don't have like any good. No, I already have Jacobs on this team. Jesus, that's how autopilot I am right now. I'm like, oh, I want to boost my Zamir bags, but I already have Josh Jacobs. Jesus, Pete. Man, this is a gross range for running back.
It is. Running back Loki got wiped out this draft. Like, there's a couple guys who I feel like are still here.
Yeah, I did not like that.
That's how I feel like these drafts have been going a lot lately. Where it's like I got so used to this point of the draft being very comfortable to be able to just like take a couple running backs who I feel solid about, and all of those guys have moved up into like the 150s now, and you get to this point, and it's just like, fuck, do I take Chuba Hubbard again for the like
for the millionth time? I know.
Yeah.
I still like Chuba, but to that point, I'm bored of clicking Chuba. There are just some guys that I'm like, yeah, they're still a good pick, but I'm just bored of clicking Singletary. I'm bored of clicking Chuba.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't clicked him. Keeps a little more.
Yeah.
But taking a lot of Jerome Ford as well with him. Like, I think he practiced again today too.
Yeah.
And like, I know that they traded for Pierre Strong. Pierre Strong sucks. I'm not too worried about that long term.
I had pretty hefty Ford bags for my portfolio earlier in the pre-injury. I was clicking him a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, there are There are some of these guys too that'll just be good for me to scroll down on that I haven't been selecting a lot of these. Do you guys have a favorite on the Colts backs, deep backs?
I've been taking a hold just because like Deion Jackson, from what I remember, was mostly like more of a pass catching profile back, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
It could be very inaccurate. Hole's a rookie. I mean, seemed to have decent, profile. So that's been the click for me. Just bet on the like younger legs. Don't mind
Yeah,
the
I don't
tight
know.
ends.
I,
Like
I
I feel like
kind
part of
of
the reason they would make this stand too is maybe they like the draft pick. So that's maybe a little bit of an unreported like theory. I don't know.
Yeah, I think like I have a really hard time clicking Dion. I haven't been doing it, but I could totally see the case for Zach Moss, like Tyler said in chat, where basically like if you really don't think that Taylor is going to play for the Colts this year, like I think Zach Moss is essentially, barring Hull going crazy, like locked in to be the starter once he's back.
Mm-hmm.
And so like if you can get him in the 18th round, I get it.
Yeah. Andy takes Taysom Hill there. Is that your second tight end? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm probably going 3 tight ends. If I had to guess, I'm gonna close this out with a running back and a tight end, and end
Yeah.
up with a 2-6-7-3.
Just an announcement to the rest of the room. You guys are still allowed to take Zamir White. I just decided I didn't want to handcuff Josh
Sorry, they won't let
Jacobs.
him
Everyone
fall.
else is allowed.
They want to let him fall, and you want to pass again. I wouldn't.
I am going to pass again. So
You're welcome to
he's
handcuff,
yours.
Pete. I would say that according to my profile in 2021, this would fall in accordance to the acceptable handcuffing positions as the draft capital. But
Well, didn't you read who was it? Herzig's long Twitter thread about why you sometimes should draft 2 running backs from the same team.
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I've done it a ton.
You didn't source my article.
I've done it a ton on for certain teams, but it's funny because Jacobs would be like one of the few where it doesn't have any appeal to me, even though the
I totally
price
agree
on Zamir there, but just, I mean, the way like Zamir's not going to be relevant in the scenarios where Josh Jacobs smashes his 3rd round ADP, just like it was last year. So I have a harder
too
time.
High. Like that. The first player's draft capital is too high, in my opinion, for it to work out. It's got to be more in that like middle to late range for it to be effective with the first guy, and then the second guy needs to be practically like free.
I've decided Hunter Luke is the RB2 in Dallas.
This is
real quick, Pete. What's your rundown for like the Giants like wide receiver room right now? Like, how are you ranking?
I mean, I'm biased because I selected a ton of Wan'Dale Robinson. It was looking dicey, and now he's going to avoid PUP. To me, like the 2 clicks I like are, I guess I would rank them Hyatt, Robinson, Slayton are how I prefer to play it.
Yeah. Slayton's hard for me, man, because like he's flashed like that upside, but then he's just like also that player that you could see like them discarding, into the season if he's not going strong. So it's like that is a challenge for me too. So
here's why I'm on an island, because the chat is screaming about Isaiah Hodgins.
Is that real? Like I don't get the Hodgins hype.
I think he's a perfectly cromulent wide receiver in the NFL, but he doesn't strike me as a guy who could massively outperform his ADP in the way Hyatt or Robinson could.
Yeah. People
have really short memories on what Wan'Dale Robinson was doing last year, breaking out before he got injured.
Yeah. I'm gonna get him for my Danny Dimes double stack here.
All right. What other running backs do I want to start to add in here?
Do you ever take Deuce Vaughn? Is that a 0 for Deuce Vaughn?
That's a 0. Yeah. And also a 0 on Evan Hull. But we got the Raiders and the Colts.
What do you think about CEH? I see you have a 0 on him as well, but he's going to be one of 3 running backs to make the team?
Yeah, I should probably have, considering I have, 0.8% McKinnon and very little Pacheco, I should probably have a little more CEH, but I truly, I can't bring myself to click him, clearly. But yeah, that's probably a portfolio mistake.
I mean, I only have like 3%, but he's another one of those guys where it's like I'm at 5 running backs and it's round 18. And it's like, yeah, you know what? I could take one more share of CEH here. And
there was, what did we have a little bit of buzz on Deneric Prince, and now did Prince make the 53? I didn't see that one.
I don't know. I'm not sure he did. Yeah, I
Yeah,
know he lost the punt returning job.
yeah,
So
that was
it's not a great sign.
yeah.
No, he was released an hour ago.
They still strike me as a team that would be interested in like a Leonard Fournette. You know,
Agreed.
Fournette feels like the perfect fit for the Chiefs, but I haven't heard much smoke on that. Prince did get cut. There you go.
Yeah, I do. I've kind of felt like Fournette's going to land on the Chiefs like all offseason in some respects because of like what they seem to be able to afford, which is not a lot. And he wanted the quotes of him want to go play for a contender and probably do a vet minimum deal. That seems
so
like a
I
great
was
spot for
gonna
him.
take Chris Evans here, but I don't really know how I don't take Devin Singletary at pick
At what?
207.
207? Yeah. Well, when Clay's taking Damian Pierce in the early fifth, it doesn't leave much room for Devin Singletary to succeed.
Yeah.
I ain't taking him.
I've been taking a good chunk of Devin Singletary, and and there goes Chris Evans. All right, made my decision a lot easier.
Yeah.
Did something happen to Devin Singletary?
People got very excited about Damian Pierce, which I get. I mean, his usage. Yeah. If he's catching passes, then but here's the thing, right? The reason we got excited about Chuba and Singletary is because they were going to have a little bit of a standalone role in addition to the contingent value. But at pick 18, you can be drafting just a pure contingent handcuff that isn't going to be getting a lot of touches unless there's an injury.
Yeah.
There goes Slayton.
Should I take CEH for you guys? Is that what I need to do here?
Does it fit the construction?
I was going to go running back anyways. I was thinking of maybe doing a Sean Tucker because he plays my Olave in week 17. And I don't have any Sean Tucker either, and CH goes, so that makes my decision easy. The other guy too, I mean, Tucker. Rico Dowdle, I do think Malik Davis getting cut is kind of interesting. Like a lot of people pegged him as the RB2. Let's go. We'll go with the correlation though here. I don't have anything with Detroit. Little Sean Tucker, Chris Olave. What if it's the stack you need, guys, in week 17?
Have you taken Patterson at all? I didn't see.
I've done a little Patterson. Yeah, 3.
He's someone who could have been a nice week 17 with Chicago too.
Yeah.
It seems like Joshua Kelly's pretty baked into RB2 role in the Chargers, right? That hasn't changed.
Yeah. I'm just not sure he's that good.
Me either. But it could just be an opportunity thing. I am like light at running back, and I need a guy who could theoretically like see the field this year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with him. Yeah, take that, round it out.
Yeah, that's another good one too. Like just so clearly the RB2
on a great offense there. Yeah.
And I will tell you, if you would have asked me, if you said, Pete, can Josh Kelly rip off a 60-yard TD run, even in the preseason, I've been like, yeah, I don't know if that's in his bag. And then I was like, oh, okay, Josh Kelly.
This was it's so uncomfortable for me both like in this middle section of the board or early middle section of the board, and then also taking an early tight end. That's not how I've been drafting primarily. And so it's good to get different structure and stuff and force myself in that way. But I really love, honestly, the end of the board this year because I have not also been getting a lot of like the 1, 2, 3 picks. And I would rather go like 9 through 12 than 4 through 8.
Well, the end of you mean from like the back end of round 1?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant like the last round of picks, because I was going to say those picks have gotten a lot more fun in the past week or two.
For sure. No, but even then, like, I mean, the drafting from the back half of the board in the first round is like my dream situation.
Yeah. I'll be honest. I didn't feel great about this draft. I panic clicked Jaden Reed. I wish I would have done like a 2v2 on like the hole and take Chase Claypool there to double stack Fields, and then gotten another running back later, or sorry, done a running back where I did the Reed pick and then swapped out Hole for Claypool. So I don't know. I just didn't I got my skinny stacks, but I didn't build out much correlation at all, some mini correlations. But this one, sometimes they just don't feel good. This one didn't feel good. Maybe it's because I'm out of practice because I don't take Justin Fields, and I don't have a lot of practice building Justin Fields teams where there's certain quarterbacks where I'm like, okay, I know my spots. I know the hits to play here. I'll recap my team and then we'll hop over to your guys'. So I did do Justin Fields and Geno Smith at quarterback, did get a little value on Geno, Did a 7 running back build with Josh Jacobs, Rashad Penny, Devon Achane, Tajay Spears, Kyron Williams, Evan Hull, Sean Tucker. Wide receiver used a lot of early capital there. Cooper Kupp, Chris Olave, Christian Kirk, Gabe Davis, JSN, Bateman Reed. Perfectly cromulent wide receiver room. And then Dallas Goedert and Cole Kmet. Clay, recap your team here.
Yeah, went Trevor Lawrence and Daniel Jones in my quarterback room. Kenneth Walker, Damian Pierce, Tank Bigsby, Gus Edwards, Zamir White, Joshua Kelly in the running back room. We went a strong 6 there. Receiver, we got Tyreek, Calvin Ridley, Jordan Addison, Elijah Moore, Odell Beckham, MVS, Jalen Hyatt, and Wandale. And then we got Mark Andrews and Luke Musgrave in the tight end room. I'm fairly happy with this team. Similar to you, Pete, as I was saying, like it is awkward for me to start with an early tight end and kind of maneuver a draft from that way. But I would say like I feel really good about my receiver room. I feel good about my tight end room. I think I salvaged the running back room well enough to feel decently comfortable with it. You know, if we're shooting for upsides here, right? You know, we're trying to just can't think about the down scenarios. Everything can feel a little shaky at times, but I'm not mad at it. I think this team has some upside, especially if I can hit some of these running backs.
I like your stacks. Really nice Jag stack, nice Giant stack. Didn't get
I didn't get bring backs clean, but
Panthers.
Yeah.
But you have a fun game stack around Miami and Baltimore without the QBs too, which is nice.
And I was trying to think about how to get a little unique with that, right? Because that is such a popular game stack. So one, like I have a different combination in a couple ways with like Andrews and Odell Beckham and Gus here. I got sniped on. Oh, you took A-Chain, which I would have went for. And I tried to get Mingo, but he got taken right before I would have taken him as the Jags bring back. And then I would have taken Kyron Williams, but chose to go for the Gus reach, prioritized there. So maybe that would be a good pick to change back on, but it also is correlated as well. So yeah, all in all, I'm decently happy with this team.
All right, Andy, recap this. The Joe Burrow slider sent you on an interesting trajectory, but I thought you landed it nicely.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about this team. So I started with, or have Burrow and Goff. Wanted to make sure I got Goff there because it's not often you get Gibbs and Amon-Ra St. Brown, and so that felt pretty good. And then for running backs, I have Gibbs, DeAndre Swift, Pacheco for a bit of a bring back with Cincinnati, Mitchell, Jeff Wilson, and Devin Singletary. So yeah, sorry, bye week bros, a lot of week 10 buys.
Yeah.
And then wide receiver, I have Stephon Diggs, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Mike Williams, Tyler Lockett, Tyler Boyd, Juju, and Rashid Shaheed. And then went with 3 tight ends, reached a bit for Irv Smith to get some more Cincy players. Taysom Hill is someone who lately I've been getting a little bit more comfortable clicking again. I like one of my buddies in another chat was basically saying, why would they do their trick Taysom Hill plays in the preseason? He seems more like a regular season guy, and I've convinced myself that that's a real thing.
There you go.
And then Tyler Conklin to round out the 3 tight ends. Even see someone else who I've been starting to click a little bit more lately, as we've seen a few other wide receivers get cut and different things like that. But yeah, I feel pretty happy about this team.
I like this team a lot. It looks like very similar to a lot of teams that I like to draft, aside from like I don't click a lot of Boyd and Juju, but I love this team a lot. Like that running back room, I feel like is a lot of guys that I enjoy having on my roster.
Yep. I like these teams. Our common theme was us not getting many bringbacks on our main week 17 stacks. I think.
I was hoping to get Ferguson as a bit of a bring back there, and then he got taken pretty early.
Yeah.
And then and Gallup had already got taken early as well, and so it's like I'm not going to take Deuce Vaughn.
We're just ahead of next summer's meta when everyone's like thinks that we've jumped the shark on the bringbacks, like really, because that started to be like the little twinkle of the conversation this year, and we could point to this draft and be like, look, all you really need to do is just go after some really fun offenses, which I think we targeted pretty well, and maybe work on a little week 17 bring back correlation. But then I think maybe we can like reverse the edge and go just like what offenses are going to dominate and not focus on bringbacks.
That's draft 137 in the books for me. Appreciate you guys drafting Best Ball Mania team with us. We'll figure out our plans for next week. Yeah, like hopefully they have weekly winners might still have have a few spots left before the start of the season. So we can huddle and figure that out. Otherwise, appreciate all of you guys. I'll be back tomorrow for drafts 138 and 139 with Pat Corain and Sean Siegel. Andy, Clay, anything you guys would like to plug right now?
No, I have a feeling we're both just in wedding mode as we both get married in 10 days.
Yeah.
But I was going to ask, if all of a sudden you look in like 2 days and BBM's a little more full than you thought it would be, are you going to like just hop on at 10 p.m. and be like, no, you don't understand. You don't understand. I have to rip 4 drafts right now.
Yeah, I've been keeping very close tabs on it. I will say the rate has been picking up. It's been like 1.5% a day right now. I want to say when I looked this morning, it was at 84%. So we're already up to 85.1. So it could get close. It could get close.
What day are you slated to do your last draft? Do you have it all mapped out?
I'm doing a marathon stream on Friday, starting at 10 a.m.
Okay, so you should be good.
That's my thought. But yes, we will. There would potentially be an improvised thing where like Thursday night, like if it's at like 99%, 98% on Thursday night, I'm going to do Best Ball After Dark with Bill Barnwell. I think what would be such a bummer is I've lined up a lot of fun guests. I have 6 different drafts all lined up, and I'm going to announce that soon. But I guess the fail-safe plan, and I guess this is good to discuss through, is I fire up an overnight stream on Thursday after Best Ball After Dark. It'll probably start at like 11 p.m. and we will just draft as many teams as we can before it closes.
OG
but my
vibes.
OCD would kill me, dude. If I don't get 150, I will. I basically will not let it happen. I will ensure that these drafts get done, but I really hope I'm able to do my mega stream on Friday.
I think you should be good by Friday. If you were pushing it into next week at all, it'd get pretty dicey.
That's when I was like, initially I was like, let me save one for like Best Ball breakfast on like Tuesday after Labor Day. And I'm like, there's no way I can't risk that.
I think this thing fills on Labor Day. A bunch of people are just drunk, hanging out, doing drafts.
It's filling on Labor Day. We're gonna have that moment like we have like the July 4th and stuff where certain drafts have like filled and shit. And it's like, I'm totally with you. It's gonna fill on Labor Days.
How about this, everyone? Go do some weekly winners drafts right now. Go do some little
NBA.
Some NBA. Come on, guys.
Actually, I got some drafting for people if they need some help with. On the night side, if anyone is looking for some extra drafts, we're doing some Degen drafts, which are a lot of fun. We have our KFFL back with Degen buy-in too. So if you were ever a night holder, go check out the claim that dropped earlier this month. Claim your Degen token and check out the DAO. That's pumping. Having a lot of fun with the Degen DAO. So through that, a lot of fantasy drafts, and check it out in Discord. Shoot up Joe Candy. Good times. Save some drafts for this weekend with Pete.
There you go. B-Spurf's hopping in an NBA one, so you guys can go draft with B-Spurf here.
Maybe do that Tuesday if we fill up next Tuesday.
I was just hanging out with Zakarian over the weekend and was saying we should do an NBA draft show soon once the season starts. I think on a Tuesday that'll make a ton of sense. All right. Appreciate you guys. I'm heading out. I'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. for Best Ball Breakfast, for Andy, for Clay.